divine goddesses. We are the portal. We are the connection to divinity. Welcome back. I'm Brittany, and this is the Triple Goddess Podcast. I hope you enjoyed my first episode. If you did not catch it, please go back and learn about me first before you start this one. This episode is special to me. It's all about sacred feminine, why it's so important to me and why it's the second episode. Little spoiler, I'm going to be telling you guys a secret in this episode. So be sure to stay tuned for the middle of the end where I reveal it. Only a few people know. Anyway, we'll get onto that later, but you have to listen to all of this to understand my secret. I am so fascinated with ancient Egypt, with everything it has to do with Cleopatra, everything with the goddesses. There is meaning behind that. There is meaning behind all the symbols, all the pictures that you look. They have women behind the men, like with their hand on, like behind their shoulders. And a lot of people have see the resemblance how that man cannot be at power. That man cannot be at his most highest level without that woman, without that female woman being at her highest level. Her divine power excels his divine power. Without her, that man would not be to his literally his highest potential. When you can be at your best game, be confident with yourself, be literally in alignment with your mind, body, soul. And that's why I did the Triple Goddess Podcast, because that is all about the mind, body, and soul aligning and becoming one. Because we are all one. We are all connected. Every living thing, every person, organism, item, you name it, and this whole world is related. It's all one. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing's going to get better. It's not. The Dr. Seuss Lorax. The Holy Grail. Legends hold that the Holy Grail had delivered the power to heal wounds, deliver eternal youth, and grant eternal lasting happiness. Who does that sound like? Your mother? When you hurt yourself, did she come and kiss your wounds? Didn't she bless your water? The Holy Grail refers to the chalice that Jesus used at the Last Supper. The famous legend of the Holy Grail was written by a French poet in the 12th century who's known to mention the Holy Grail. Legend also says that the Holy Grail collected Jesus' blood at the crucifixion. Because of the significance at the Last Supper in our salvation, the Holy Grail is one of the most highly regarded relics in history of Christianity. Now, the vessel that was used at the Last Supper refers to Jesus sharing a cup of wine with the apostles, saying it was the convent in his blood. The use of wine and chalice in the Christian churches is based on the Last Supper story. So if we look at this picture, we see a cup pouring into basically the stand, okay? And I see basically at the bottom, I see a gold pyramid going up to a cup. And then we look into a woman's reproduction system. How similar are they? They are so similar. The other thing I look at is Aladdin, the movie. The very end when Jasmine has the sands of time and she turns it. And she literally is turning the sands of time. You know, her power, she's becoming that female empress. And so what I see here is that female figure is taking the position. Now we look at this and we look at basically a vessel that holds blood, that blesses people with all of this miracles and so on and so on. But when we look at the actual storyline, it doesn't really add up, and I'll tell you why. Now, Davinci literally did this whole painting on, Jesus and the Holy Grail. But we look at the whole Last Supper painting. Where is the Holy Grail cup? Right? If we look at that picture prior and we look at here, we do see Mary Magdalene, correct? Now, if there's only one Holy Grail cup, why couldn't it be her?
I'll show you the Grail. I trust you recognize the Last Supper, the great fresco by Leonardo da Vinci. And my dear, if you would close your eyes.
Lee, save us the parlor tricks.
You asked for my help, I recall. Allow an old man his indulgences. Now, mademoiselle, where is Jesus sitting?
In the middle.
Good. He and his disciples are breaking bread. And what drink?
Wine? They drank wine?
Splendid. And one final question. How many wine glasses are there on the table?
One, the Holy Grail.
Open your eyes. No single cup. No chalice. Well, that's a bit strange, isn't it? Considering both the Bible and standard Grail legends celebrate this moment as the definitive arrival of the Holy Grail. Now, Robert, you could be of help to us if you'd be so kind as to show us the symbols for man and woman. Please.
Oh. No balloon animals. Huh. They can make a great duck. This is the original icon for male. It's a rudimentary phallus.
Quite to the point.
Yes, indeed.
This is known as the blade. It represents aggression and manhood. It's a symbol still used today in modern military uniforms.
Yes, the more penises you have, the higher your rank. Boys will be boys.
Now, as you would imagine, the female symbol is its exact opposite. This is called the chalice.
And the chalice resembles a cup or vessel, or more importantly, the shape of a woman's womb. No, the Grail has never been a cup. It is quite literally this ancient symbol of womanhood. And in this case, a woman who carried a secret so powerful that if revealed, it would devastate the very foundations of Christianity.
Wait, please. You're saying the Holy Grail is a person? A woman?
And it turns out she makes an appearance right there.
But they're all men.
Are they? What about that figure on the right hand of our Lord, seated in the place of honor? Flowing red hair, folded feminine hands, hint of a bosom, no?
Incroyable.
Pas tout à fait. It's called scotoma. The mind sees what it chooses to see.
Who is she?
My dear, that's Mary Magdalene.
The prostitute?
She was no such thing. Smeared by the church in 591 Anno Domini, poor dear. Mary Mary Magdalene was Jesus' wife.
So I wanted to share that with you because the book, The Davinci Code, they literally discovered that the secret society that once included the Knights Templar had guarded the secret of Mary Magdalene bore the children of Christ, making the Holy Grail the woman that carried the bloodline of Christ and not the chalice that held his literally blood. So now today's culture is so literal that if we look back at these texts, we literally mistaken all of this for the man that Jesus had Jesus had the blood that gave everyone, blessed everyone. But when we look back and the history and everything that was changed, we see that Mary Magdalene literally was removed out of it. But there are signs and symbols from all these different creative thinkers, creative minds that have these symbols in there to help remind us, because it's so important for us to remember. Now, if you noticed in the slide before, I had a picture of Mona Lisa. And if you don't know anything about the Mona Lisa, it's literally the most valuable painting in the world. It holds the Guinness World Record for the highest known painting insurance valuation in history at $100 million. Back in 1962, you guys. That's the equivalent to $1 billion as of 2023. Now, we look at the Mona Lisa, and it's literally been this highly priced item for reasons to basically protect it, to keep it around, and to show how important it is. And if we look at just everything, the background, her position, her smile, her eyes, her hair, the sky, like there's just so many similarities. Not really similarities, but just signs. And what I have noticed, seen, and kind of connected with all these movies is kind of the background imagery, her eyes, her smile, and how it can connect to everything else. Now, I think should be a big focus on Mona Lisa's eyes. One, because you're so drawn just to her eyes for some reason. And for me, it's not just her eyes. You look at her eyes first. And I know if you're looking at if you're on the podcast, please, pull up a picture. Please try to pull up my video on either YouTube or Patreon. And please look at, this slide, because you literally see first you're drawn to the eyes. Then it's pretty much like the background and how it kind of is different and doesn't really match behind her. And for me, that's a big sign, because for some reason, when I'm just, doing my daily thing, like I think about this image, and for some reason, there's a reason. Now, look closer. Do you see this? Do you see the veil? Do you notice the landscape? Do you notice the road behind her shoulders, or the bridge? And do you see the water in the sky? Like how ombre it is and just meshed and oozed together it is. It's just, there's something about that. Now, since a child, I've been drawn to these biblical paintings, stories, history, you name it. Not only for importance in global history, but the signs and the hidden symbols that they all have. Because I am a huge movie junkie, and for some reason I connect all the dots and the documentaries. Like literally, I'm so fascinated to this. And between The Last Supper and Mona Lisa, I have had several downloads, from source, guides, divinity, and I believe I kind of piece it all together. And I will show you after this clip.
She said when Sonia died, he took the location of Mary's sarcophagus with him. So There's no way to empirically prove that I am related to her. What would you do, Robert?
Okay, maybe there is no proof. Maybe the Grail is lost forever. But Sophie, the only thing that matters is what you believe. History shows us Jesus was an extraordinary man, a human inspiration. That's it. That's all the evidence has ever proved. But when I was a boy, when I was down in that well T-Bing told you about, I thought I was going to die, Sophie. What I did, I prayed. I prayed to Jesus to keep me alive so I could see my parents again, so I could go to school again, so I could play with my dog. Sometimes I wonder if I wasn't alone down there. Why does it have to be human or divine? Maybe human is divine. Why couldn't Jesus have been a father and still been capable of all those miracles?
Like turning water into wine?
Well, who knows? His blood is your blood. Maybe that junkie in the park will never touch a drug again. Maybe you healed my phobia with your hands.
And maybe you're a knight on a Grail quest.
Well, here's the question. A living descendant of Jesus Christ, would she destroy faith? Or would she renew it? So again, I say, what matters is what you believe.
Thank you for bringing me here, for letting him choose you, Sir Robert.
So the reason why I have that clip is just because I want to show you and have you listen, for my podcasters, to the words of, even though all the stories and everything has been changed and everything, we may not be able to have proof of this goddess energy being the most important part. Now, if we look at the Mona Lisa and the Last Supper together, we kind of notice something, don't we? I mean, I have my whole life. These two images just mean so much, are so important to me, and they just, spirit, divinity, they just keep sending me these messages, these literally images in my head all the time. And I think the reason why is because they fit perfectly. And now, if you're on the podcast, please pull up the video at some point and just look what I have put together. How this goddess energy, this goddess main energy has been removed from the Bible, removed from the Last Supper. But we have clues and we have images relating about how important this is. And for me to realize that Jesus might have had a daughter with Mary Magdalene, and that heir, it's almost like the Harry Potter movie, like that heir has returned, but in the good way. So I just wanted to show you the resemblance and how much this all just looks together and how just perfectly the picture fits. Knowing that there's so much out there and everything that we've been taught has been almost a lie. So if we look at the Bible, we see that we have Jesus and all of this godly stuff. God, 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 King, King, King. And everyone has forgotten about the queen, the the female, because without, we look at the the 3, everything in the world is made up of the number 3, which is pretty cool. And with the number 3, you have the Holy 3. So you have the Holy Mother, the Holy Father. They say the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, but you can't have a son without the mother. So they are literally taking that part out. And I will get into all that history part another episode, but this episode, literally from the beginning of time, they have taken that out of the Bible. That feminine part of the Bible, the feminine part of this world has just been stripped out, because once we add that back in, this world will change forever. And that's what's happening right now. If you're not looking at the news with all the earthquakes, with all the literal wars going on, you have to have chaos before change. You have to have commotion before change. And that's what's happening. Chaos is out here for the good. And us women need to step back, literally look in the mirror and love yourself again. I have done that the last probably 4 or 5 months. I look myself in the mirror every day and say, I am so proud of you. I am so happy for you. You are doing it. You are doing what you love to do. You are thriving. You are fully committed. You are fully aligned. I am so proud of you, girl. And for me to tell myself that, to tell my inner child that, is so beautiful, because no one else is. No one else is going to do that. So we need to do that for ourselves. We need to heal those wounds, those inner trauma wounds, because of our children. We can't have those wounds open with them. They need a clean slate. They need our full potential. And only being at our full potential can we heal this world. And in order to do that, we need to realize that we are beautiful people. I don't care who you are. We are all beautiful. We're literally divine goddesses. We are the portal. We are the connection to divinity. And because we can give birth and bless ourselves, we can literally bless the earth with a miracle. We women have the power to do that. And that literally gives me goosebumps every time I think about it. And because of that, my mother also told me my whole life that I am special, I am magical, I am gonna do some amazing things. And I always believed her, and I still believe that. And when you do that, when you fully commit to something that you have been told your whole life, but in a positive way, big things happen. And I see that so often. I look at all the signs of the universe and how they're all connected. It's so beautiful, you guys. With losing my three favorite men. With losing my 3 favorite men, besides my husband and my son, because they're on top of the list of everyone else, but my dads and my dog, they literally have my back so bad. They have my back, and for me to be in a state where I know that, and I can breathe for once in my life. I know I am supported. I know I am blessed. I know I am divine. I know I'm connected. And that is so beautiful. And it makes me so passionate that, yeah, I am a sexual being. I love having sex. I love, it sounds really bad, but it's just with my husband, of course. Like, when you find your inner self and your inner purpose, or even your higher self collides with yourself, and you know who you are here, sacred feminine power is so beautiful. It is so powerful. And when you can tap into it, you know the feeling. You know how beautiful this world will be when we are all like divine goddesses again. And that will be coming soon. So to begin, ladies, we need to talk.
Ladies, get busy! We're gonna be laying some eggs tonight!
So I have noticed that a lot of women have lost that spark in them, that magic inside themselves, especially mothers. And I learned that with my own mother, who just gave everything to everyone else and stopped filling her cup first. So as being a first-time mom and a wife, if you listen to my first episode, you understand that me and my husband, we're not actually married, but I call him my husband. It's been 12 years. So I don't really know if a lot of people know this, but I had no confidence in myself for the longest time. I had no self-esteem. I was very insecure about myself, my body, my looks, everything. And it got to a point where I kind of lost myself after giving birth, and I lost myself completely, to be honest. Was a cosmetologist. I had done all these different jobs. I didn't know what I was gonna be doing with my life. Like, what am I gonna do when my child is 20, 25 years old? What am I gonna be doing? I've done all these different jobs and nothing has ever really panned out. What am I in this world? What am I supposed to be giving myself to? Or what am I supposed to be contributing in this world? And that was my biggest thing for the longest time. I'm very tech savvy. I'm very smart. I love gardening. I'm very good with electronics, and I just could not ever find this right career for me. And it literally drove me nuts. I love history, and I could tell you everything about all the history and the woo-woo, all of that, and everything in between. But when it came to believing in myself and what I was destined to do in this world, I was lost. One, because of my story. I didn't think that anything was meant to happen for me, to be honest. I've went my whole life suffering over and over and over and over and over and over again. Usually because of other people. So when I get to a point in my life where I have my child and my husband, but I don't have that thing to offer the world. I know that's there. I know that I have lots of skills and ambition, and I'm just trying to narrow it down. So it got to a point after I was a few months pregnant. Actually, I'd gained over 100 pounds almost being pregnant, and that really bothered me My husband, he's blunt, but he does it with the best intentions. So when he would say I'm starting to gain weight and this and that, I didn't know what to do. I was eating decent. I never really a junk food person, and I didn't know what to do. So I literally started Beachbody to find a community of women to help my intrusive thoughts, my self-confidence. So that's where I started with Beachbody, and I am so glad I did, because the community there is so beautiful. It is so passionate. It is so, we will work with you, we'll help you create your goals. The only thing I didn't like was the money part of it. If you know me, I hate money. I do. I know all these people and gurus are like, oh, you gotta love money, and it's this, you gotta have a great relationship with it. And guys, I've had an issue with money my whole life, and it was not because I hated it, or it's just, I don't know. It's just not meant in my cards. It's not in my alignment. I just kind of, I don't know. I just I've gotten to a point where I accepted it, and then I was like, well, what if I change the way I receive this money, instead of going to a 9-to-5 job and working all this hours and feel like I'm not going anywhere in life. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna tell the story, my secret now, after this commercial break. I hope you're liking this episode, and I want to let you know about my website. It's brittanyshomegoods.com. I have everything from homemade goods to food to homemade crafts, and everything there is just made with all my passion, all my love. And I just want you guys to go check it out. I do have some deals going right now, 20% off if you sign up as a VIP. If you are local, I am also doing free samples, and I have these great cookie, Girl Scout cookie order forms that I made. And if you or a business want them in your shop or your location, I also will bring a free sampler for you. So let me know, and I will send that out to you. Love ya! So, I have a secret, guys. Probably a year ago, coming up this April, I started OnlyFans. And yes, my husband knew. We decided at this point in this world, I don't know what else to do to be able to stay home with my child and make money, because nothing else was working. So I did OnlyFans from April of 2023 to October of 2023. So yeah, I just recently stopped. I was making pretty good money at the end. And the reason why I stopped is because I had started to get a lot of male customers who were married or had a partner, and that started to bug me. Not that they were married, but because of so many people that were having issues in relationships, they had to seek that spark, that sacred feminine, that sexual energy somewhere else. And that was my issue. So I quit. What it reminds me of is literally, I just see it so often, so long. We're going to talk about sex because it's such a shunned thing, and it literally drives me nuts because it's so important in any relationship, sexual relationship, even yourself. Women, that sexual sacred energy, we all need to work on it so bad, and this world is missing it. Once we all are able to find that sacred feminine energy and be able to feel just so powerful on our own, not with a man, not with fashion, not with anything else in this world, but when you are in peace with yourself and in alignment, that sacred energy is literally pure fire. And the women that understand and they have grounded that energy, they understand. They understand how powerful they are. They understand how powerful a lot of women are because they know what we do every day. I'm a stay-at-home mom, and I am busier than moms that work 40 plus hour jobs. I literally wake up at 5:36 and start my day as I'm going to work, and I am home all day, but I literally am doing this and that, and I almost never sit on the couch, guys. Maybe at 8, 9 o'clock at night, maybe I just finally able to put everything away and sit down and enjoy TV or a movie with my husband. And so the other thing is that me and my husband have sex quite often. I hear women that literally will go months and months without having sex, and they literally do it to punish the partner, and that's not fair for either side. Whatever issue you are struggling with, sex and basically hoarding your space for only time. I don't want to go over the edge with this because I don't want people to misunderstand it, but when I started OnlyFans, I was very self-conscious of myself. I was overweight. I've been with Cody for almost 12 years. So that was very weird. And our relationship's very different. He knew what was going on the whole time. He always supports me. And I would tell him all these stories about these men and how they'd be cheating on their wife and they'd be texting this, and I could just see on his face that sucks that all these men have such a not an open relationship with their partner, that they have to go elsewhere for such a passionate, sacred thing. And I had an issue with that. So that, and when everything with the world started coming around, with learning about, me, I'm so into the solar flares and how they correspond to our energy and how they are this year it's definitely wrapping up. But I actually am glad I did the OnlyFans because I had being a stay-at-home mom and just having like a moment or a time in my life where I've lost myself, I had a reason that I needed to work out every day. I needed to get up. I needed to do my hair, my makeup. I needed to, my child will go down for about 3-hour naps every day. So I would take that time and go do all my pictures, edit them, post them up, and then, sell as much as I could while he was sleeping. Literally, I didn't want him to, any of it, or even my husband while they were home. I just wanted to be in my own little time, get that done over, and be able to do whatever I can. And that right there, or even just hiding it from everyone. I had a different name. I had a different everything, and I just had to hide it all. And that was so hard. It's like having a whole different identity, and I couldn't keep up. I could not keep up anymore. It was almost like living with my father again and having to totally keep all these secrets and in line and figure out who I told this and that. And then on the other hand, these men just are having these issues and they just need someone. And my problem is that I wanted just to chat with them, to tell them to go to their wives and chat with them. And they're like, don't tell me about my relationship. So yeah. So if you are thinking about that, guys, just literally it's so filtered. It's so saturated already. Like, just move on to something else. I'm telling you from experience, it's such a hustle. It's such... Now, right now, I hear a lot about people talking about how we're all slaves and stuff, but when you become an OnlyFans girl, you are nothing but like a slave. You are literally hustling your ass off to make this money. And it's hard because there's so many other people doing it, so many different ways, so many different just avenues, and that is so hard to keep up. So hard. My husband kind of on Instagram follows girls that are on the OnlyFans that either I was friends with or that I, I don't care that he follows these women. And that's the other thing, is that when you criticize your husband so much for looking at these women, there's an issue with you, honey. You need to understand that he's trying to say something. He's literally not without trying to hurt you. He's just trapped. So if they not trapped, but you gotta open your eyes too. You gotta wheel and deal. You need to step up your game as well. And yes, we work hard and we do a lot, but you gotta take care of yourself. If you are just miserable and you are so beside yourself and just not confident with who you are inside, why would your husband or your partner want to be with that? It's almost like they're gonna take them down with you. You're gonna make them drown as well. So instead of being jealous that they check out other women, or me, I check out women. I check out that woman too, and I literally oh, she has a nice ass. Good job, girl. I don't know. I do that a lot. Come on. We need to recognize each other for our own achievements, our own struggles, and everything that we have gone through. We need to support each other and build each other up, because who else is? Just ourselves? That's not fun. That's not gonna get us to that next level and to motivate each other. We need to be there for each other. We need to build that community to help build that sacred feminine and build this light. because you guys, we're the Holy Grail. We create life. We are life. And when we understand that, the world changes completely. And I know I forgot before I do, for this video, I want to at least get our card out. So let's pull my card. I know it's the very end. Let's see. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Please share, review, like whatever you're on. Please help me spread this, spread the word of my podcast. It does help the channel. The channel does help the podcast, and I just want to continue doing this, be able to just talk on any subject I want to. So thank you guys for supporting me. Today's card is going to be I am streamlined. I reduce resistance and minimize clutter in my life. That is a perfect card. So this is a great card for us for next time. Stay tuned.